Bette Sussman here at Bette's Diner. Yeah. What? What are we promoting today? Spring! It's spring! It feels like spring. The windows are open. The flowers are blooming. The crocuses are budding. All right. My guest today has one name. No, it's not Cher. Cher is not here today, but she does have one name. My guest today started classical piano at the age of 2.5, something that I can relate to deeply. Clearly, she was a protege, so much so that at the ripe old age of 12, she retired from classical music to embark on her career in pop music. Moving on a few years, she was recognized by the Songwriter Hall of Fame in her early 20s, and it was clear that she was going to make her mark as a songwriter performer. She's graced the pages of Billboard magazine, Keyboard magazine, and many others as an award-winning songwriter. She's toured across the country, globally. In 2017, she founded the I Believe You project, which we're going to hear about because I really want to hear about it. And she also headlined at the World Youth Jazz Festival in Kuala Lumpur, where she also got to do some master classes, which is always great when you're paying it forward. She can be seen playing keys with my old boss, Cyndi Lauper, on the Hope music video. In 2019, this very year, she did a sold-out direct-to-vinyl project live in Brooklyn, New York. What? Who does that? Oh, that's not this show. Okay. She's on the rosters of Hammond organ, Alessis on-stage stands, and Lamplifier microphones. Ladies and gentlemen, this woman has, what she has packed into this young career, because she's not old like me, what she has lumped into this so far, just like the beginning of a career, is incredible. Really, really quite commendable. And I can't wait for you to hear more about her. Those of you who don't know her, and there's many of you who do know her, so enjoy. She's gonna cook for you instead of sing for you today. It's gonna be fantastic. Please welcome my guest today, Emiko. She's a keyboard player, guitar. Here she is. Yo, it's Emiko in the house. Emiko's in Bette's Diner. Hi, Bette. How are you? Come on in, get on this side. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, it's Emiko. Welcome to Bette's Diner.
Thank you.
And we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff today.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, we're going to cook. Okay, so what are we cooking?
Spring risotto.
My favorite, because we're celebrating spring.
Yes, and
today.
nothing's prettier than spring in New York.
No, and like I'm super excited for this dish because it's going to look beautiful. Because we have our Arborio rice,
Yeah.
corn,
Yeah.
cherry tomatoes, asparagus, garlica. What brings you to New York right now?
Bette's Diner.
No, come on.
Bette's Diner.
You didn't come here just to be on Bette's Diner,
Bette's
did you?
Diner, baby. I most certainly did.
Because you live in LA.
I live in LA.
You used to live in New York.
Yes, I grew up here.
And you were born in Japan.
I was born in Washington, D.C.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
But I went back and forth to Japan.
Tell me why. Your father's Japanese?
My father's American.
Father's American, mother's Japanese.
Yes.
So what was the back and forth about?
My parents felt that it was really important for me to have an education in both countries. So they put me in school in Japan and in the States, back and forth. And I went all the way. I actually got more education in Japan. Like I continued further along than here. So that's what I did. I had to put on my little uniform and my little backpack.
All right, so let's get started.
We'll do onion and garlic first.
Onion and garlic first.
Yes.
Let's see how you do. I'll do the garlic, you do the onion.
Okay. You know I'm left-handed, right?
Oh no, but let's get started.
Surprise. Did I not tell you that part?
No, it's not important though. It really doesn't matter. But it just would be easier, I think, for you to cut if we're going to cut together. Which I think why shouldn't we cut together?
Certainly.
So
everybody can see my epic cutting skills.
How do you want you want these just chopped up?
Minced, chopped as little as they'll go.
So minced. Emiko has already warned me that when she cooks this dish, the food is on the ceiling.
Yes.
In this kitchen, we have a little garbage bowl, so you can put all your things in there.
Okay, fantastic.
So let me ask you a question. Now,
Yes.
this is totally unrelated to me.
Okay.
But I've seen all kinds of pictures. Do you box?
I do, yeah.
Do you kickbox or just a regular box?
So I started off when I was younger, like I must have been about 11 or 12. I started out doing Shotokan karate, and I was a competitive fighter in that. And then I had.
How old were you?
I was 11 or 12.
Was
when I
this in
started.
Japan or here?
Here. Well, I did it in Japan too, but here. And then I had to take a break for a little bit because I was touring and this and that. And then I moved to LA and I couldn't find a dojo near me. And so I said, well, what's kind of close to that? I like to, I still like to stay active. And so I found a coach, and it was kickboxing, and then it became more boxing. And
did anybody say to you, Emiko, maybe you might try a sport that wasn't predicated on you using your hands in a violent way?
Yes. They are no longer with the organization.
I'll cut the asparagus. How do you want them cut? Just in little pieces?
Little pieces. So I normally cut them about that long.
Okay, so now
Yes.
I think we're ready to start.
Now we're ready to start. We have everything.
Onions.
Onions are there.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Okay, we're back. We've done our prep. We're going to start with garlic and onions.
Olive oil.
This is how we're gonna try and get you a recipe today, because Madam over here doesn't measure anything. She just goes rah, rah. There's the garlic.
There's the garlic. I sweat it out.
And okay, so tell me, please,
Yes,
if
ma'am.
you would.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk a little bit more about the I Believe You project.
Okay. Onions. Por favor. Must
She's
have.
bossy.
I'm
Stick
the
with
only child
stick
that I'm a
with one name
Gemini,
is bossy.
and I'm a keyboard player. Hello.
I am too. I'm not bossy like you are. She just tell me, give me this, give me that. Okay. I kid. Okay, so about the project.
Yes, the I Believe You project.
I Believe You project.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
So,
Because after all, it did lead to the I Believe You tour in 2018, so there must be something to this I Believe You project.
yes. So I unfortunately had a situation in which a relationship of mine did not end happily, and it ended slightly more unhappily than most, and slightly more notably unhappily than most. I'm trying to keep it chill, as it were.
We're trying to keep it upbeat.
Yeah,
Uplifting.
yeah, because
this
spring
story
risotto
is
is
probably not very uplifting, but we're going to make it
But
uplifting.
no, but it is. It is in the end. So
Okay.
I couldn't figure out why I was, and I chose to pursue this in the justice system, rather than be someone who this had happened to and just sort of silently skulk away. Anybody that knows me knows that I don't go quietly into that dark night. And so I chose to pursue it, and I couldn't figure out why I was getting really nowhere is a good way of putting it. And one night, as I think as we all do, we're on Facebook way too late, trolling videos and this and that.
Some of us other have other things to do.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm always on Facebook Live.
Says Bette, who messages me at 3 a.m. on Facebook Messenger. So I found this video of survivors of sexual and domestic violence. Some magazine had put it up, and they were saying, if you could tell one thing to other people who were trying to support survivors, what would you say? And they told their stories, and it was a 7-minute video, and they said, the most important thing you can say is, I believe you. And I thought, that's really, yes, because I feel like I'm alone, I feel like this is happening to me, and nobody believes me, and people are just like, oh, sure, okay, and they're paying lip service.
I get it. That's really cool.
So I wrote this song called I Believe You, and my producer and I went into the studio, Tommy Farragher, who's also
I
another
was just going to say, who's your producer?
phenomenal keyboard player and just multi-platinum selling, like, guru guy, and we did the track, and then we didn't do anything with it for a while, it wasn't even slated to be the single on Looking At Later, which was the last album that came out. It was just sort of there as sort of a catharsis. And then the Harvey Weinstein thing broke wide open. And all of a sudden, my assistant's phone, my manager's phone, just blowing up. Oh, you gotta release the I Believe You song. You gotta this, you gotta that. And I said, okay. I didn't really know what was going on. I read the article. I saw what was happening. I went, holy crap. And literally, we put that video together. So it turned into a music video. And I said, I want to do sort of a PSA-style music video. We got real survivors of real domestic and sexual violence, some of whom were as young as 12.
That's
So
not great.
We had a mother and a daughter. We had a nice gentleman who went in honor of his daughter, who was a survivor. He wanted to appear in honor of his child. And we made this video. The video made BuzzFeed. It was tweeted about by folks at the New York Times editorial board. It sort of launched this whole thing. I got my fair share of hate mail for it.
Of course you did.
Of course I did, which was amazing. And to the haters, I want to say, thanks for taking 30 minutes out of your life to write hate mail, because you can never have those 30 minutes of your life back.
That's right.
But what I did get was I got invited to perform the song at the Women's March LA last year.
Great. Last year, or was that
I'm sorry, 2018, January 2018. Right. And I've been working with a number of DV resource survivor centers. I actually got asked to be on the board of one of them, which was really such an honor. And this is going very well. And
do we want to add the? I'm sorry, we don't want to interrupt the story, but we'll be doing this during the course of the day.
Right, of course.
So we add the Arborio. Do you think we're ready to add the Arborio?
30 seconds.
Okay. So now what we do is we put the Arborio rice in,
right,
and we want to coat it with all the oil and toast it up, and then we start to add
the
liquid.
Stock, right. This is really funny because I'm not right-handed at all, so you're asking me to stir with the right hand, and that is just a fail on my part. But anyway,
right, well, that's a very. So then you went out on tour.
So we decided to do a tour across the country because that turned into a documentary short, which
the
video turned into a documentary short, and then. I mean, it was just covered by so many outlets, and so many survivors were coming forward. I want to be part of this. I want to do something. I want to speak up. And I said, well, most of these folks don't have the resources to fly to LA. And I thought, well, big fat guess what? Where there's a will, there's a way, and I'm just going to come to you. So we went around and we met survivors, and we talked to them, and what's so beautiful is that there are so many people that are willing to come forward, that have the desire to come forward, and not just come forward in a malicious way to I'm going to get my attacker and this, but they want to come forward in the sense of community healing for each other, for their children, for their parents, for their aunties, for their even we've had dads and husbands who were victims of domestic violence, survivors of domestic violence, and I always say, I know primarily it is a female issue. I do realize that. However, I and the I Believe You Project will not ever discount men who are survivors of domestic and sexual violence. We would never discount that because it's a human thing.
Right.
And that's really what's important, is the idea that we're inclusive in that sense.
Yeah, well, that's a great project.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to ask you also about...
Ooh, can I add the stock?
Are you adding stock before wine?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I do it backwards.
Anyway, so what about... Tell us about the live to vinyl record you did.
Yes, this is so exciting. So my old publicist actually wrote to me about this, and she said, hey, because we're still really good friends, Ida Langsam of ISL Public Relations. She's based here in New York. Hi, Ida.
Hi, Ida.
Hi, Ida. She's awesome. And she gets these leads and these feeds from various opportunities and things, and she said, and because we're friends, and she's so good with her clients that she said, look, I'm always going to forward you these opportunities. And there was this wonderful, they call themselves a record label, but I think they're more of a recording studio / project, but it's cool, called Least of All Sound Recordings.
Okay.
They're based in Brooklyn. They have a 1950s vintage lathe that they cut 7-inch vinyl to. It's by invitation and by request only. So they invited me to be on the show, and we did a pre-order. It's an exclusive pre-order only of 3 tracks. and everybody that pre-purchased, right, ordered in advance the tracks, we had to live record each song. So there's no master,
Right.
and then it's not replicated from the master. Each individual performance is cut to that disc at that moment in time. So the people that bought the music are the people, they're the only people in the world that own that single performance.
How you doing there?
So far,
So we're
good.
doing good.
So far, so
We have
good.
enough. We have enough.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
now turning it up a little bit. I always turn it down low heat first because otherwise it tends to burn
Yeah,
out.
that's exactly
And
right.
the first 2 times I made this risotto, it turned into risotto cakes
Yeah, we don't want that.
because they neglected to tell me to turn the burners down first after sweating out the garlic and onions. And so the rice just became, it was a rice cake. I mean, it was still good, but it was not what we were intending.
Okay, so we're just going to take the opportunity to show you that the wine that's going to go into this is
It's legit.
legit and it's drinkable.
Yes.
Okay, can you
She's-
come over
she's-
here? Hey, McAuley. Yeah, whoa! So, chin chin.
Chin chin.
Come by.
Okay, come on. All right, okay. Okay, wait a minute. I have a really of a funny story to tell
Okay.
you. Okay, I have a really funny chin chin story.
Okay.
So,
Keep mixing.
so yeah, you
Story.
keep mixing this because
Yes.
you're Japanese, part Japanese, so this is a part Japanese story.
Oh,
So
boy.
I was in Japan many years ago
Mm,
with Whitney
Right.
Houston,
yes.
and we were in Nagoya, and are you sure I didn't tell the story on camera?
But not on camera.
Oh, really? Okay.
Start again.
Okay. So, all right. So I'm on tour with Whitney Houston,
Right.
and we're in Nagoya, and I left they take our bags the night before to go out. That's going to go onward to the next city.
Right.
So of course I left my deposit box key in my luggage, and I had a bunch of cash in there, so I wasn't about to leave without it. So our tour controller, accountant, Koji-san, stayed with me, and we took the train together back to. We were going to Hiroshima, which was his hometown. So we're driving. We're in the train, and we're like, he's telling me stories about. He told me incredible stories, like about the fact that his family is all from Hiroshima, and the morning that the U.S. bombed Hiroshima, Koji's entire family at 5:00 in the morning went on vacation. The entire family went on vacation. How incredible is that? Okay, so which is why we still have Koji. Anyway, so he says, Bette-san, you want to come tonight? You want to go do karaoke with my friends from high school? I said, there's nothing I'd rather do than do that with you, Koji-san.
Of course.
So after the concert, we go, and it's Koji and Tony Bullock, our tour manager, came, and one of our dancers. And we went to this place. We couldn't find it. He's looking, and finally some guy, we're in this district with like office buildings, and this guy comes running out, and Koji's like, oh, that's up. And they start talking, and I don't know what they said. Anyway, we go into this building, into a tiny little elevator that's like this,
Right.
as it is,
Yeah.
going up to this karaoke bar, which is like a sushi restaurant and a karaoke bar, where all of Koji's friends are pissed drunk. Well, by the time we get there.
What time did you get there?
Well, it was after the show, so it was probably about 11 o'clock or something.
Yeah, they probably started at 10 in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
That's normal.
So we get there, and one of his friends, who's the owner, comes over to me, and she said, "Oh, would you like something to eat?" I said, "Yes, just if I'm starving." I said, "We have something simple, just a little sushi or whatever's easy. I'm fine." "Oh, you like a Japanese sushi?" It's like, "Yes, I do." I didn't know there was any other kind, but yes, I do. So then she says, "What about drink?" I said, "Oh, I'll just have a sake. Sake would be great. Cold sake, hot sake, whatever would be great." She goes, "Ah, you like a Japanese sake?" I went, "Yes, I do. I enjoy Japanese sake very much so." She goes, "So Koji, my friend, says to me, Bette-san, how you say cheers?" I said, "Cheers." He said, No. I said, "Kampai." He says, No. How else you say it?" I said, "L'chaim? Prost." He says, "No, Bette-san. What's another name?" I said, "Oh, Chin Chin." He says, "Hi, Chin Chin." He says, "Why don't you get up and toast everybody, toast all my high school friends, and say Chin Chin?" I said, "Okay, Coach, that'd be fun. I'd like to do that. That would be a nice thing to do to all your high school buddies." So I get up and I go.
Should
So
I start
Koji-san is
drinking now?
like, "Shh, okay, everybody, shh." I said, I would just like to say thank you for welcoming us, and chin chin, y'all. And the whole place goes, ho, 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 ho. They're all laughing their asses off. Because basically what I just said to them was, little penis! That's what chin chin means, little penis.
Yes.
And that's what my friend Koji-san told me to say to these people.
Yes.
Okay, so
he did.
We don't have a laugh track here, so you'll have to laugh.
But you're
on
all
it.
laughing at home. They are.
How
so,
are we doing?
We're good. We're almost there. Oh, I have something to say about Koji-san. So this is something that I have discovered in my years of touring. And this is I'm going to direct this specifically to John Stamos, the actor. And the musician.
John, are you watching Bette's Diner?
John will be watching Bette's Diner, I hope. He's very busy, but my hope is that he will be watching Bette's Diner because there's an episode of Full House, this dates me immediately, where Uncle Jesse is going on tour after the Forever song and video comes out. And he's in Japan, and the tour manager's name is Koji.
Oh, really?
And then there's another show, and the tour managers are always named Koji. I just think it's funny that you had a Koji and he had a Koji. Well, his character had a Koji, I should say.
We have Kojis.
So it was just kind of...
Tell me about
Very
your
interesting.
career as a child. Obviously, you were a child star classical pianist because you did concerts, and tell me a little bit about that.
Stuff. I performed for a lot of dignitaries, government dignitaries, the secretaries of education, labor, agriculture.
In America and Japan, or just America?
Here, in Washington, D.C.
America.
Yeah, I did that. I worked with members of the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra. So I think I was about 8 years old. I was hating my life as a classical pianist. I wasn't getting it. I mean, I got it in the sense of performing and playing it. It wasn't connecting in my heart, you know. But of course, when you're 8 years old, most grown-ups think you don't have a heart because you're still developing as a kid, and they know better than you, and blah, blah, blah. So, but my father, bless his heart and his foresight and his understanding of me. This is why my parents and I are so close. My dad came home one night and said, I have tickets for us to go to the Kennedy Center to see this. He called it this ladies in music thing that you'll like.
It was called, I know what you're talking about, it was called 20th Century Pop, starring Darlene Love, Rita Coolidge, and Mary Clayton.
And Bette Sussman.
Well, I was the musical director, I wasn't the star.
My
name was everywhere.
Let me tell you guys something. I was 8 years old. I'll never forget, I put on this hideous forest green velvet dress with the lace collar, little Mary Janes that my mom made me wear.
It's amazing how we've caught up in age, though. We've managed, because now I'm just about a year older than you.
Clearly, yes. And off to the Kennedy Center we went, and I was kicking and screaming the whole way. I was like, you're lying to me, this is going to be another boring classical concert, I don't want to go, I want to get out of this, I don't want to go. We got there, and my father's just like, just go. I'll buy you M&Ms afterwards, whatever. Anything he had to do to just make it happen. And so we're sitting there, and I remember the three women came out, none of whom were you. And then all of a sudden, I'll never forget, I gotta turn this down because I gotta tell the story the right way. I was sitting there, and all of a sudden you came out from what was my right side. On this, because it was like this, it wasn't a stage in the round, but they had set it up differently than most classical things. You came out, I'll never forget, you were wearing this this amazing black blazer with pants, and your hair was Bette fabulous, as it is. I do remember you had something near your chest, which I'm assuming was music.
Probably my music.
Right, okay. So you put it on the piano, you went like this, and you started playing, and I just fell down. And my father looks at me and he goes, "I told you so." And I'll never forget, because
how did he know that it was going to be like that? How did he know
didn't.
that this was going to...
He just took a shot in the dark, I think.
Just finish his story, and then I need to stop
the
the story.
stop. Yeah.
So, I remember opening the playbill, and I didn't care who the other people were. I didn't care.
And that's so funny. That's the difference between she and I. I was like, oh my God, it's Rita Coolidge and Mary Clayton and Darlene. Well, Darlene I had worked with, but now I get to find out all about Leon Russell from Rita Coolidge and Mary Clayton, get to talk about Mad Dogs and English Minister. I'm so excited.
I was 8 years old and I'd never heard the name Bette, so I assumed it was Betty.
Okay.
Right? I just assumed, like, you're 8, so you just assume this. And I couldn't, and obviously the internet didn't exist yet. And then I kept that playbill, I kept it. And then years later, Facebook happened, right? And I remember, again, middle of the night, trolling on Facebook, getting all sorts of ideas that you think are a great idea, and I found you. And I thought to myself, is this a fan page? Is this like run by a manager? Is this something? I didn't know. I knew it was you because I could see some stuff that looked like a personal posting. And I remember writing to you, and my heart was, I had my laptop, I was in bed, my heart was pounding. Dear Miss Sussman, I don't know if you remember, but when I was 8, you played a concert at the Kennedy Center, and I would really like to be your friend on Facebook.
Miss Sussman.
Yeah,
That's
my
me.
parents raised me right. and I remember, and I sent it, and I just went to sleep, and I just thought, yeah, whatever, like, oh, who knows. And the next morning I woke up, and it said, Bette Sussman accepted your friend request, and I just went, oh my God. And so when I called my dad to tell him that you had, reached out to do this, my father's reaction was like, what? Are you serious? Like, he freaked out. He was really excited, and he
Well,
said,
I'm glad that I was there to make an impression on a young pianist, young 8-year-old pianist. I'm glad I could have done that for you.
To be fair, I have to say thank you, because you also proved my point to my then teachers that, see, you can make a living playing non-classical music as a pianist.
Were they telling you that you couldn't be able to make a living unless you were playing classical?
They didn't want me to know who Billy Joel was. They didn't want me to know who Elton John was. They didn't want me to know who Carole King was.
Oh, that's
so it was. But my second teacher was actually very supportive, and we're all still friends.
Great.
So I just think I think it's funny.
All right, so we've been cooking for about 10 minutes, and we're gonna get back to it and add some wine, some seasoning.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, okay, let's add the wine, because if we don't, we'll just talk and this will turn into brown mush. And we don't want that to happen. Yes.
You need a bigger light on that, girl, because
I know.
That didn't do anything.
No,
That
it will.
didn't say, hi, I'm here.
It will in a minute. So just to be clear, a lot of people in the recipes, they add the wine first to burn it off. I like to add the wine sort of second to last, because I like it to absorb into the rice to make it plumper.
I mean, once the rice has already been...
Yes,
I get it.
So there's a purpose, there's a method to my madness. Yes, it's unorthodox. Yes, it's bizarre.
Well, you're in the right place for unorthodox.
So, but there's a reason why that is. Just so people don't look at this and go, oh my gosh, what's she doing? And
well, no, actually, Leanne Pendarvis, who has associate's culinary degree, who was here, another pianist, who was here making risotto with me earlier this week. He was the same way. He wanted to put the wine in last too. So
see, he knows what's up.
So what do I know?
So the label.
Yeah, so the label.
You wanted to know.
Yeah.
So
I want to tell the people what you got, what's coming up new.
So here's the new thing. I have been sitting on this for a while. What I've decided to do, and I think this is also in part because of all of my brand relationships with my endorsement partners, and what I've found out is I apparently have a knack for thinking of ideas and then making them happen relatively quickly. I didn't know that, but apparently I do. So I thought to myself, one of the things that people don't have, that it just burns me up that people don't have it. There's going to be a record label for keyboard players. I'm doing it. I've got a couple people that are in the partnership with me.
You starting a label?
Starting a label specifically for keyboard players.
Oh. Sounds a little discriminating to me.
It's unbelievably discriminating and phenomenally exclusive. And they have to be keyboard players that are amazing. They can't be keyboard players that suck.
Well, are they going to be instrumentalists looking for a record deal? What? I don't understand that.
No. So anybody that is a keyboard player... So, okay, for example, right? let's do some salt. Shall we do some salt?
Please.
Let's make it salty. Hold on, let me just double check this first.
Oh no, it has no salt in it, and the stock has no salt, so it definitely needs.
Wow,
A good-
that is famously unsalted.
Yeah,
Okay.
it needs don't be afraid to salt that.
So, yes, it's not just for instrumentalists. It's for artists that their primary instrument is keyboard. It's for
But who's going to be signed to the labels?
the people that I say.
Okay.
I don't know what
Okay.
good talented people.
You mean just keyboard artists?
Keyboard artists specifically, right?
Okay,
Multi-genre.
I get it.
There's no age discrimination. There's no race. There's no gender. There's no religion. There's no genre discrimination. Okay. All right. I think we might be ready now. I want to add stuff now.
What do you want to add?
Cheese.
Cheese first?
Yep. Cheese first.
Before we start cooking?
Not all the cheese.
Oh.
This is my secret.
Okay.
You add a little bit of cheese to sort of creamy it up a little bit, and then you put the stuff in, and then you add more cheese.
Cooking with Emiko.
It's the thing.
At least there's not one bit of food on my ceiling though, so maybe this is good for you. It's just that maybe it's going to teach you how to be like a little bit more organized in the kitchen.
Hell no. Okay, so now we're ready to add the greens. Yes. A lot of people pre-cook the asparagus. I don't, because I like it a little bit crunchier to add texture because it's spring.
So let me ask you a question. So you've traveled the world.
Yes.
Where was your favorite meal?
I actually have a few favorites. Do I have to pick one? Because they're all different. You know, that's the thing. They're all different, right?
All right, let's hear them.
Okay, so here on the home court of New York, one of my staple places that I go, they're my favorite because of the quality of food, because of their staff, because of their kitchen team, is Landmark, which is
In the
Warner Center.
Time Warner Center, which is I love that restaurant too.
Chef Mark's place. I love Chef Mark.
Mark who?
Mark Murphy, as everybody knows, and his team is always wonderful to me.
Okay, where else?
So that's number one. There's a place in Japan, in Tokyo, that I can't remember because every time I've been there, admittedly, we started somewhere else. And,
Right.
But it's a teriyaki house, and they have the most amazing. This was when I was not a vegetarian, just so we're clear. They have the most amazing skune, which is chicken meatballs, and they have they have something called potato cheese bacon. Oh, it's so good and so carby, and it's one of these places that I don't remember the name of, but if I got there to like Roppongi Hills and I closed my eyes, I could sort of find it with the internal GPS, you know. I think we're ready to add. Oh my god! So this is for me. What will you all be eating? Let's add
Tomatoes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to sort of.
If you had to go to a desert island, and they said, all right, you can have one food from your life, what would it be?
Bagels.
Wow, seriously?
Bagels.
Not you're not even saying like bagels with butter or bagels with cream cheese.
No, bagels and cream cheese is a given. Okay.
All right.
Corn
so
time. Corn time.
Corn time.
Corn time. There's the corn. All right, we need more cheese. Yeah,
Really
baby.
good.
That's what's up. There are people in the kitchen that will pre-season everything, salt and pepper and this and that, which I agree with. When I do something that's meant to be shared and family style, I season it to the very basic level because I want everybody to feel like they can season it the way they want. So there's a reason that you're not seeing me grind a bunch of stuff on top is because not everybody likes it. I don't usually hang out with those people.
I don't think that you don't need to comment. You need to cook the dish the way you want to cook the dish.
That's about to like eat her leg off. She's so hungry.
No, I'm just saying that I believe that like a dish, you make a dish, and so you want it to taste a certain way. That's
I'm Asian. My mother was like, you always have to do it the way other people like it.
Okay, our dish is ready. Can you give us a little angle here?
Yep.
Oops, I just moved it. This is some cheesy risotto.
Yes.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, so here we have Emiko and Bette made, mostly Emiko, spring risotto with asparagus, corn, cherry tomatoes, vegetable stock, so it's vegetarian.
Right.
It's got cheese, so it's not vegan, sorry, but you can always do this without the cheese.
Or use vegan cheese.
Or use vegan
Right.
cheese. And we're gonna eat now. No,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
not gonna, we're not eating.
We're not eating. We're not
You know,
eating.
you know what we're doing?
Drinking more wine.
Singing. We're gonna do an Emiko song. Emiko song.
She's gonna make me work for my dinner
We're gonna
that
do
I cooked.
an Emiko song
Okay.
next.
There
Okay,
you
so here we're back with Emiko, and what song we're gonna do?
This is called Wish You Were Here. I'm not nervous at all. Everything is different now. Maybe I can't say for sure, but I can tell somehow. 'Cause for 40 days and 40 nights, it rained enough to destroy us all. And for 40 days and 40 nights, I was a prisoner of these four walls. Oh God, I wish that you were here now to save me from this black hole. Sunny days and staring, I'm okay. And I'm really not, 'cause I wish you were here. Promises were meant to be broken under circumstances like these. But here I am, holding fast, just in case there's a chance. 'Cause for 40 days and 40 nights, there were flares, there were rockets up in the sky. And for 40 days and 40 nights, I know you saw me, but you turned a blind eye. Oh God, I wish that you were
That was incredible. That's a beautiful song. Really pretty song. This is Emiko. You can see her all over the interweb. Go check out her videos on YouTube. She's a really talented girl. I mean, this girl has written like thousands of songs and has received many accolades for her songwriting. I can't say enough. It was so much fun having you here today.
Thank
cooking.
you.
That was such a blast.
This is
We
a
made
childhood dream of mine. Yes.
risotto, spring risotto, and Emiko at the piano. We had a blast. Don't forget to tune in for the next episode of Bette's Diner. And when you do, hit the subscribe button, wherever it is when you're looking at it, over there. Ciao.